Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining and welcome to our undergrads programs launch. My name is Jad Hardan and I'm the Director of Technology at AFG College. So we are starting our event shortly. On your screen, you can see in the Q&A section, this is where you can write your questions and our presenters will be answering. Thanks again for attending, and I will hand over now to Russell Williams, the Dean of the Qatar campus. Russell.
Thank you very much, Jad. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the AFG College with the University of Aberdeen webinar. What we're going to do today is we're going to run through a few details about the university and our association and campus here in Doha. We'll then talk about the new programs, and I'm delighted that we've got faculty from Aberdeen with us today. We've got Professor Mervyn Bain and Dr. Lynn Binney from Politics and International Relations. And watching the webinar, I've got Dr. Bidur Al-Shayi, who's in Aberdeen, and if you put any questions about the IS information systems in the question chat box, she's going to help me answer them, or we'll come back to you afterwards if we can with those. So this is our outline. I'm going to say a little bit about undergraduate study at the University of Aberdeen, something about the two programs, something about the support services we offer here at the University of Aberdeen in Doha, and that's going to be led by Maha. And then we're going to go to the application process. So there's my name on the screen. I'm Russell Williams. I'm the Dean for the Qatar campus. We've got a very trigger-happy IT person who's moving the slides ahead of me, but we'll sync them in just a minute. Okay, great, Jad, we'll move on. So there was some good news this week out in the UK. Various rankings came out that were important for the university sector. One of the rankings in the business school that was very important was that we came out 18th in the UK for accounting and finance. That's one of the programs that we offer, undergraduate programs that we offer here in Doha. The other very good piece of news that came out for us at the university is the university retains its place in the top 200 of the world's universities. Now that needs to be put into context. There are over 20,000 universities on the planet. So being in the top 200 places us in the top 1% of the world's top universities. We'll say a bit more about why Aberdeen is a top university and the sort of experience that you'll get when you join university. So welcome, thank you for your interest in the programs. You're obviously interested in our new programs, that's brilliant. A little bit about the university. We're founded in 1495, and this year we're celebrating our 525th year anniversary. Of course, that gives us a lot of pride, and heritage does mean a lot. But the university is not just looking backwards, we're constantly looking forwards. We're a university that's contemporary, with a contemporary impact on the world around us. And to build that vision for how we can have impact, there's been a lot of engagement with our key stakeholders to derive our 2040 vision. This is saying something about who we are and what we want to be and what we strive to be in this modern world with the challenges that we face. So I'm going to say a little bit about that 2040 vision because it says a little bit about the culture of the university. Okay, so of course it builds on our past, the 2040 vision. We wouldn't want to forget that. And looking at our past, if we look back to the founding fathers of the university, they had a purpose that they noted down, and we still live by that purpose. And that's the pursuit of truth in the service of others. That's important to us at the university. But what we're doing is that we're contextualizing that into some sort of themes for us and some aims that we deliver through our research and through our education that we provide to the students at the university. So in education and research, obviously, excellence is at the core of our activities in both research and teaching and learning. But we're aimed to not just teach abstract theories and research abstract theories. We want to equip our students to transform the world around them. They're going to go out and become leaders and managers. We need to equip them with the thinking skills and the application skills to be able to do that. So education and research, that's obviously a core plank for us of our vision, but it's a theory into practice vision for us. We're an inclusive university. We welcome students from around the world, and I'll say a little bit more about how international we are now, which covers off a later point. On the campus in Aberdeen, we have 120 different nationalities studying. So literally they come from more than half of the world's countries, and that's a strength for us, because diversity, you know, and seeing things through different eyes and different lenses is a way for creativity in education and study. So that's a virtue for us. But it's not just the student body that's international and we're inclusive with. The faculty are international as well, and the university strives to recruit a globally renowned faculty of experts from wherever they come from. Now, the third theme is interdisciplinarity, which of course we're going to hear a little bit more about with the 2 new undergraduate programs. This is becoming important in the world of knowledge generation around us, as innovation and creativity is occurring at the boundaries between related disciplines, where we apply different lenses to look at the same problem and come up with new solutions. So we're building that into our curriculum, the interdisciplinarity, to look at some of the interdisciplinary challenges that we face. And I'm going to say a little bit more about those in a minute. I've said something about international, and of course the fact that Aberdeen is here in Qatar says something about our international reach, our network and partnerships around the world. We have a substantial other partnership in Sri Lanka as well. We have to recognize that we're living in a world with almost unlimited demands on its fixed resources. So the university is very mindful of its impact on the planet and on people. And so having a sustainable organization is a key feature for us. So we want to take care of our people, we want to take care of our students, and we want to take care of the resources that we have available to us. So what about those challenges of our time? There are lots and lots of challenges out there, obviously, facing the peoples of the world. But Aberdeen, like Qatar, is an energy hub. And Aberdeen has been an energy hub since the 1970s because of North Sea oil and gas. But we recognise that hydrocarbon can only play a part of the energy mix, a part of the portfolio of energy consumption and production. And so the university is still looking at hydrocarbons, oil and gas, but we're looking increasingly as well at alternative energies and what they mean for people and the energy mix. So we're looking at that as a key challenge for the organisation. Social inclusion and cultural diversity. I said something about our international orientation. Well, globalization is what we're living with, and globalization presents considerable challenges which need to be managed, but they also present considerable opportunities which also need to be managed. You know, global organizations with expatriate workforces, a big one here in Qatar, that presents challenges if we're going to get the most out of the workforce that we have. So we look a lot at social inclusion, cultural diversity, and how we can be productive. And that's sort of a big theme as well of international relations, the program we're going to talk about later. So allied to our energy theme is environment and biodiversity. So again, it's about our impact on the planet around us. We have another theme on data and artificial intelligence. So Aberdeen is one of the first universities in the United Kingdom to teach computing. And what that means today is it means a lot about data and artificial intelligence. We're all carrying around mini computers. Lots of organizations and devices are collecting data about us, what we do, where we go, when we do it. And of course, for businesses and organizations, governments too, what we need to do is make something of that data that's useful for people. And so that's a strong feature of the university, and a crossover area between business and computing, and also computing and other areas in the university. Now, our last theme is a legacy theme, which is still important for us. That's health, nutrition, and well-being, and that's a strong theme for us in the business school as well. How we create, you know, a better workforce to live in this better world that we're striving to build. So that's something of our 2040 vision, and hope captures something of the culture of the university and what we're about, and how we hope to shape you, and you will be shaped by the things that are going on around you. But importantly, what we want to do is create real impact with our students and real impact through our research. And so that means looking back and working strongly on what happens in our classrooms with you, our students. So we're going to watch a short video now. We're seeing the facade of the campus in Doha. We'll have a look at the short video and then we'll come back. I think it lasts about 2 minutes. Thank you, Jad.
AFG College with the University of Aberdeen is ready to welcome students for the academic year 2020 to 2021. In creating a safe and enjoyable campus experience for our students, we are committed to providing you with physical distancing measures, and enhanced hygiene procedures will be in place to help protect our community. Our team will be available to help you at every step of your journey. Our support services are currently operating, offering impartial and confidential advice on a range of issues, including personal, academic, and more. Our students are our main priority. We're adapting our teaching spaces, library, student spaces, and gyms in line with physical distancing guidelines, so you can still enjoy campus life and the sense of community. We understand how important on-campus learning is to you. We will ensure you receive the same high-quality Aberdeen student experience, albeit delivered differently, bringing you world-class education. Your safety is our concern.
Okay, Jad, thank you very much. Hopefully that video was informative. It says something about our approach to the current pandemic crisis we're in. One important thing for the university is the health, safety and well-being of the students, the staff and all visitors to the campus. So we've done a lot to work to make our campus safe for return. I'll say something as well about the return. We'll be operating a blended learning mode at the start of the year until we are instructed otherwise by the Ministry of Education. What that means is that our lectures will be online, and that's to avoid large gatherings of individuals. But you will be coming onto campus to have small group seminars and tutorials, and we're carefully crafting the timetable to make sure that we stay within the constraints of the number of people on the campus. But we want to give you a blended learning experience. The online lectures and some other online teaching and learning that we're preparing for students. We do have a lot of experience in this. We've been running, the university's been running its MBA online for several years now. And at the start of the pandemic in March, we moved to online learning very quickly, delivering out the rest of the year online and finishing off several of our postgraduate programs online. Okay, so what we're seeing now is something that's not the campus that we saw just a minute ago. It's something about the future for Aberdeen. Aberdeen is planning to build its presence here in Qatar, and as you come to the end of your academic careers, you'll be experiencing what we're seeing on the slide, a new campus that's planned to open around about 2022, 50,000 square meters, a research hub. We anticipate there'll be about 3,000 students there. Big, but not too big, because one thing that's really important for us is the sense of community. And we certainly have that at the moment. The faculty know the students by name and they interact with the student body fairly extensively. We're largely business and management, accounting, finance, and we're being joined by IR and information systems in September. But the new campus will also include medical sciences, engineering, law, business, and other social sciences as well. So let's look a little bit more specifically at some of our programs. What do our programs offer? We're here to develop you academically, professionally, and personally, and we're going to do that through lectures and tutorials. We'll be bringing in invited guest speakers for a speaker program. You get to connect not just with the faculty here that's in Aberdeen, and it's an international, not just with the faculty here in Qatar, it's an international faculty here in Qatar, but we often link up with the tutors with Aberdeen who are teaching the same modules in Aberdeen, and often the tutors from Aberdeen will travel to Qatar to take some of the seminars in a week during the semesters. We're building research, We're building community engagement. And that, remember, big thing for the university is having impact. That's not just impact in Aberdeen in the UK and Aberdeen globally. We want to have a proper significant impact here in Doha as well. For the student body, there's extracurricular activities for you to join. It's a student experience here, so you're here to have a social experience as well as that academic and personal experience as well. And one key thing for people that come to us here in Doha, one key thing is that the courses that you study here in Doha are exactly the same courses that you could study were you in Aberdeen, and you have the opportunity to go to Aberdeen to study for 1 semester or 2 semesters in your program, and you get exactly the same experience in terms of content. So there we have it. I've just said what's on the next slide. It's exactly the same degree as though you studied Aberdeen, same content, same assessment. We have a graduation ceremony here in Aberdeen or Qatar. Actually, I think you are entitled to go to either or both ceremonies. And actually, if you want to see last year's ceremony, it is available on YouTube for you to watch. Aberdeen is a friendly university. It's about you making new friends, acquiring new colleagues, and exploring new opportunities. But I'm going to come back to that really important thing. It's a world-class education delivered by a top-tier university with a reputation for quality. Okay, thank you, Jad. Okay, so I'm going to hand over now to Dr. Lynn Benny, who's sitting in Aberdeen, dialed into the webinar. Lynn, I'm passing over to you. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you to Russell for an inspirational talk, introduction to the campus. Okay, my name is Lynn Benny. I'm a member of staff in the Department of Politics and International Relations in the Aberdeen campus. And my job is to provide a flavour, I guess, of what is a brand new programme on offer to you, which is Business Management and International Relations. We have all sorts of combinations of degree programmes on offer, but in Aberdeen, this is one of our most popular joint honours programmes. So you know, people enjoy it. It's a popular programme. In terms of what you actually study, you'll study 1 IR course per session each semester, and I'm sure you're familiar with this, but it's a 4-year degree, so you'll study IR throughout that 4-year degree. I think it's maybe worth emphasising some of the points that Russell made, that you know, our approach is thoroughly inclusive, international. We enjoy the coming together of different standpoints, different values, and that in a way is what makes it really enjoyable to teach with politics and international relations. So, you know, we do genuinely encourage the discussion of different values and ideas. And also, as Russell said, you know, we are very much an international campus in terms of our students as well as our members of staff. I'm one of a handful of members of staff who with a distinctive Scottish accent, so this is something that you would have to get used to. Okay, what we actually study in international relations. Right, I always think of our degree and the study of international relations as something that interests people who have a keen interest in power, decision making, security. Defined very, very broadly. That could be, you know, traditional military security. It could be in terms of some of those challenges that Russell outlined, health, the environment, and so on. Clearly, we're also dealing with the relationships between states, states sovereignty, the debates that emerge from that. But essentially, what we would argue is that we're living in a much more interconnected world, and that creates both challenges and opportunities, and certainly an opportunity in terms of studying an interesting degree. Other elements, sort of core elements, I was just trying to think through exactly what it is that we are discussing in all of our different courses. These kind of concepts like power and security, but also we're looking at really critical actors, governments, international organisations, citizens, you and I as citizens, the roles that we play in politics and international relations, institutions, state level institutions as well as international institutions. For example, we're about to embark on our first year course where we will look at the difference between different types of political systems. In Britain, we have a particular type of political system. Even with devolution, it's still quite centralised, but very different, let's say, from a system in the US. And we compare parliamentary systems, presidential systems, and so on. So you get a really good understanding of different types of institutions and political systems. Cultures and history. We are keen to explore different cultures, different histories. My colleague, Professor Bain, is with us today. He's an expert on global and political history. He will talk to you in our first year course if you do indeed sign up to that. So these things, you know, are wide-ranging but important. They also lead us to the importance of ideas, values, perspectives, the different lenses that Russell was referring to. We think of our subject as a sort of celebration of different perspectives, and we certainly don't assume that one perspective is right and others are wrong. So we're exploring these different ways of looking at the world. In the British context, I spend quite a lot of time in my courses looking at British politics and how a conservative can see the world very differently from a socialist, for example. Different theoretical approaches. There are distinct theoretical approaches in the study of IR, what we call realism, through to more critical approaches. You will become experts on these different approaches. And all of this is interrelated with the events and challenges that are all around us, contemporary events and issues. I do sometimes think that the current pandemic, clearly not anything we would want to be living through, but we will be studying this and examining this for years to come in our subject. So we engage with these contemporary challenges that are around us, and very much the programme is based on kind of global case studies. We look at what's going on in individual countries, we look at what's going on in the relationships between different countries and in these different sectors or areas. And finally, something that's important to us is to emphasise how we go about our studies. So research methods, understanding how we collect data, what type of data is available to be collected, how we analyse data. That's absolutely at the heart of how we examine international relations. Okay, so to be more specific about this outlines the precise courses that you would do through a 4-year degree on the IR side. So in year one, and really the reason I'm speaking to you today is I'm coordinator of the first Politics and IR course. We label it Democracy and Governance. So I would be the one to guide you through this course, where we're looking at some of the basic ideas, concepts that are important in the study of international relations. Political institutions, movement politics, rebellions, political history. It's a kind of accessible, interesting course designed to be as accessible as possible. The second semester of first year, we're looking at something that is really at the heart of the study of IR, which is power and conflict. Which states have power, who has power within states, why does conflict arise, and importantly, how we resolve conflict. So I often think of our students as being trained in ways that help them understand conflict, but also being able to make a contribution to resolving some of the conflicts in the world. So that would be year one. Year two, we fully immerse ourselves in this notion of perspectives, ideas and ideologies in politics and international relations, and we're looking at all sorts of different perspectives there, different traditions, political ideologies, different theories in IR, different perspectives. Then we move on to another theme which is at the heart of the study of IR, which is equality and inequality from a global politics perspective. So, hopefully this is just giving you a flavour of how our programme develops. So this is what we call year one and year two, we refer to as sub-honours the kind of introductory years. I don't like that label, sub-honours, but I can't think of anything better. But year 1 and year 2. Then you would enter year 3, which is the honours programme. And we then go into much more detail in terms of research methods. We run this in-depth course, Researching in the 21st Century. Again, with a global perspective, it's about developing skills that are widely applicable and across the world and in various contexts. So researching in the 21st century. And then the course you would get on the IR side of this programme is something that is very, very popular amongst our students: international terrorism, counter-terrorism and IR, one of the great challenges in international relations. Understanding it, understanding how to deal with it internationally. And then the second year of honours, but the final year of the programme, Professor Bain's course, Modern Day Latin America, and also a dedicated course on energy, climate and politics. And finally, a dissertation. We think of our programme as a way of building expertise and skills that allow you to be independent researchers. That's fine. And the dissertation allows you to develop a topic, a research topic of your own liking, something that may be inspired you during the earlier years of your programme that you look at in some detail. And with real research skills and expertise, our students do amazing dissertation topics that is really at the discretion of the student, and they're supervised by an appropriate member of staff. Okay. So just if you were to come into the programme, then in a few weeks' time, this is the course that you would experience, right? So this is the course that I coordinate, Democracy and Governance. We're looking at the key concepts behind politics and international relations. What do we mean by politics and international relations? Traditional distinction is between politics, looking at what's going on within states, and international relations, the relationships between states. But once you get into this subject, you realise they're not that easy to separate, because so much of what goes on within individual states is determined by international relationships. So key ideas at that: global political history. That's Professor Bain, and he will come in and talk to you about lots of different events in history, thoroughly engaging, thoroughly interesting, from Second World War, perhaps earlier in the Second World War through to contemporary events. Then we look at political systems, how we classify political systems, the different systems across the world, and you know, there is such variety in the makeup of political systems, but we're trying to understand them all. The different institutions that prop up, that create these systems. Democracy and representation, that's my kind of area of specialism, looking at elections across the world, and political parties, groups, how citizens engage. And there are lots of different routes through which we can engage as citizens, and we explore that in this course. The state and sovereignty, key ideas in international relations, and territorial governance, looking at how states evolve. The British state has been evolving a great deal in the last few years, and we now have devolved institutions that are very important. So we're trying to understand all of these developments. Okay, next slide would be great. Okay, and I just thought it might be relevant to talk about employability. When I did my degree many years ago, the study of politics and IR was what we might have called a general degree. It was a good degree, an interesting degree, and it led to all of these professional possibilities. But I think that over the years we've evolved into a degree that's actually training our students for quite specific careers, politics relevant careers, civil service. A lot of our students are interested in these kind of positions, international diplomacy. Clearly this is a joint degree in connecting finance and business management with IR. As I said already, that's a really popular combination in Aberdeen. So lots of our students go into that kind of area. More and more of our students go into politics, directly. It could be researching for politicians, working for big organisations in Europe and so on. Education, the media, more and more of our students are going into political journalism, and these are all areas that are going to become more important, not less important. In the world of research generally, you're developing particular research skills through our degrees, and this can take you down that road. Third sector organisations, a lot of our students work for charities and so on. So I think of the study of IR as something that is useful. It will take you down different routes potentially, and give you choices in terms of your progression and your ultimate job, really. Okay, I'm going to stop there. Thanks very much.
Thank you very much, Lynn. That was very informative talk. Jan, can we just go back 2 slides just for a minute, if that's possible? Just to look at and again, if possible, and one more, if possible. Brilliant. Okay, thanks so much. So just want to reiterate what Lynn was walking us through. She was walking us through the international relations side of the business management and IR degree. Of course, you do the same number of courses in business on the other side of the degree at the same time in each of the years. So, for example, in year 1, you'll do an introduction to management course, an introduction to economics course. Year 2, for example, you'll be picking up an HRM course, a marketing course, an introduction to finance course. As you get to honours, and honours really means more specialisation, you're going to be doing a course in business ethics and corporate social responsibility, and other honours courses include managing change and consultancy. And so you're getting 2 worlds here, and they're connected in fact. You know, some of the issues are quite macro in IR, but businesses and organisations exist in this world. Energy, climate and politics, for example, is what a lot of companies are having to deal with, and they need to know the bigger context as they themselves have to make decisions. So we focused on telling you about the IR side here tonight, but there's the business side as well, which covers sort of core competencies and areas in business, and then specialises as you move forward into the honours year 3 and 4. Okay, Jad, let's go forward and talk about management and information systems. So this is the same, really, where you've got half of your degree to do with business and management topics, people and organisations, and we're looking at different types of organisations. They could be small to medium-sized enterprises, through to national companies, international companies, companies with different ownership structures. The key sort of functional areas of those businesses, such as accounting and finance department, human resource department, the marketing department, operations. You study all of those core functional areas in business, and you study a few other really important areas in business as well, things like managing change, organizational behavior. But we are mixing that with information systems. And, it would be hard for us to sit here tonight and not recognize that information and how it's gathered, structured, interpreted and distributed to managers isn't important for companies and organizations today. In fact, many people say that information is the key thing that's going to give firms competitive advantage in the world that we are living in. And in fact, we're gathering more and more information, and the challenge now is about how we process that information and have systems. And that's really where the information systems part is coming in. It's looking at that role for IS information systems in creating value, distributing value, and managing relationships with customers and stakeholders in the marketplace. So the 2 of them are natural, we would say natural bedfellows. They go together really well, business and information systems, and in a way it's going to really perhaps enhance your employment skills to have that sort of hard edge of information systems alongside business management. Parts of business management do of course have a hard edge around finance and accounting But it's a very good combination. It's a popular combination in Aberdeen as well. So Jad, let's move on, and we've got actually the breakdown here for what you will do over the 4 years. It's a 4-year program. All undergraduate degrees in Aberdeen are 4 years, and as I said earlier, you move in year 1 and 2 through sort of foundational subjects, which we call non-honours, and then into the honours year, which is more advanced, where we really are training you to think as much more critically and analytically about the problems and the solutions that are available to companies, governments, organisations there. So year 1, the year that hopefully you'll be joining us for if you're interested in this programme, we've got some academic practice for study, English for academic practice. It's a fact that, you know, of course, all of you speak English, you can write English, but what we're going to do is we're going to help you write in a more structured way and with more clarity and precision. And academic practice for study is all about helping you to organise yourself and organise others and think about the ideas that are presented in front of you in a more structured fashion. You do it all already, but it's just doing it in a more structured fashion. And then we have a basic programming course. I think it might be Java programming at year 1 or C++ programming year 1, and then modelling for problem solving, because a lot of IS has to do with modelling problems. And that's your first semester of year 1. Now, ordinarily, what happens in the university is that most courses in the university, IR and information systems, would normally have courseworks happening through the semester and an end of year exam. But this year, because of COVID-19, there will be no end of year exams because they involve large group assemblies. So all of the courses this year in year 1 that are running this year will be assessed through continuous assessment. That will be perhaps small projects, essays, reports, presentations, maybe mini quizzes that you can do online. But there will be no big terminal exams in the large lecture theatre this year until we know a little bit more and we get greater guidance from the Ministry of Education here. In the second year, you can see we're still doing some sort of foundation courses. We want you to know a little bit about accountancy. That's to really recognise, you know, how you can recognise the value in a company, also its cash flow position, and you can start to begin to think about the role of projects in companies like information systems in an organisation. You also do an introduction to management course, how management can use aspects of information across the different functions that it operates, and then we come back into more of the computing IS type courses, object-oriented programming and computer architecture. So as you can see, you know, across the years there's a mix of business management and business management and information systems. Again, you have the option to specialize when you get to year 4. You have a project that you can do, and this is about you selecting something that you're interested in, working with one of the faculty to investigate and research something that's a challenge and a problem, and proposing a solution. One of the other interesting courses in the honours year is the Enterprise Computing and Business course. This is where we usually invite businesses out in the community to come to us with a problem that they have. It might be, you know, thinking about whether an app is right for them, what that app would look like, how it would be structured, how it would operate. And, you know, the student groups would work on solving that problem for the company. Lots of different things that happen in that type of module. But it shows also the theory into practice type aspects of what we're doing at the university. Another very popular course on this program is security, which actually means information security and how we manage cyber threats and cyber attacks in organizations. So that's the program over 4 years. Quite a lot of detail there, but it's a mix of business and a mix of management delivered by experts in both discipline areas. Okay, Jad, let's move forward. Okay, I'm going to still take any questions that come into the question and answer chat box, and I'm going to actually summarize the questions at the end. But let's hear now from Marwa, who's working in our...
Hello everyone. Hello everyone and welcome again to AFG College with the University of Aberdeen. This is Marwa Siddiq, Student Disability and Wellbeing Officer, and I'll be giving you a quick introduction about the services provided at Student Hub. So Student Hub is basically the same as the student services, and we are the first point of contact for student inquiries for both academic and non-academic matters. Next slide, please. The Student Hub team can help you with student letters, sponsorship reporting, this is for students who are sponsored by external companies, attendance monitoring, online services, which is My Aberdeen and Blackboard. Those are the online systems that we are using for our students to submit their assignments or check their grades. And of course, if they are finding any difficulties using those systems, we are helping our students to use them. Transfer to University of Aberdeen and Scotland. So students from year 3, they have the opportunity to have some courses at Scotland. And we are helping students to finish all the documents, the needed documents to study there. Changing degree program, let's say students want to change from, for example, let's say accountancy and finance to business management. Also, we are providing a very confidential service to our disabled students for both mental and physical disability. For non-academic services, we have student clubs, internal and external events, and workshops. Thank you so much. This is all for Student Hub.
Thank you very much, Marwa. Good evening, everybody. My name is Khalid Ashrawi. I'm the Student Outreach Officer and Course Advisor for the University of Aberdeen. University of Aberdeen, AFG College with the University of Aberdeen. AFG is Al Falah Group for Educational and Academic Services. They provide products and services from kindergarten, primary school, secondary school, all the way up to higher education and universities. University of Aberdeen partnered with AFG College to open its first international branch here in Doha, Qatar, and it's its first British university in Qatar with its own campus. It opened up in September 2017. We currently have 10 degrees in total, 5 undergraduate degrees and 5 postgraduate degrees, as you can see from here. So all of our programs as well is accredited by the Ministry of Education and Higher Education in Doha, Qatar. As you can see here, we have 409 undergraduate students taken as of January 2020. You can see in the first, second, third, and fourth year the amount of students we have in total in each year. Next slide, please. Thank you. Our campus here in Doha, Qatar is in Al Marmora. You can currently benefit from state-of-the-art facilities across our campus, ranging from the Learning Resources Centre, where you have access to the library in Aberdeen, Scotland. And you also have access to over 70,000 journals, reports, books, and more. You have top-of-the-range IT suites, teaching and learning spaces, a student services hub, which Marwa has already explained previously, separate fitness rooms, one for male, one for female, and student common rooms. We also have a fully qualified nurse working at our clinic, a cafeteria that's open at all times for students, and a student parking with a shuttle bus that comes once every 15 minutes to and from the university into parking. So the entry requirements to join our university for our undergraduate courses. If you're doing the Thanawiya course, you have to score 65% or above in your grade 12, and you also have to have a 5.5 in your IELTS examination with a minimum of 5.0 in all sections, or an equivalent English as a second language examination. If you're doing the British curriculum, you have to have 5 passes at C grade or above in IGCSEs and 2 AS level passes or 40 UCAS points equivalent. If you completed the IB certificate, you need to have 32 points overall, 555 at higher level. And if you're on the American curriculum, you would need to complete a GPA of 3.0 above and have a good mathematics grade in your grade 12. So how would you apply to us? Of course, you would inquire about the university, whether it would be over the phone call, or you come to our campus, or check out the information on our website. We also on our website have an application form that you can download. So you go onto there, download it, complete it, and submit it with the submit your application form with the completed documents, your certificates, your transcripts, your ID copy, your IELTS certificate, any educational certificates you can submit with your application would be beneficial for you. And then you'd wait for our response, and if it's successful, you receive an acceptance letter. We would also respond to you if there's any missing documents which we would need. You would also, after being accepted on a conditional or unconditional offer, you would need to pay your registration fees via the bank transfer and complete your enrollment. And finally, you begin your journey studying here at University of Aberdeen. Thank you very much. And back to Russell if you have any questions. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Khalid. Very informative. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to run through some of the questions that have come into the chat facility. I'll verbalize them and then give a response. And then at the end of that, I'll ask Lynn and Mervyn if they've got any other observations they would like to make about the programs the IR program that they talk to. So somebody asked the question, when does the September intake start? We have induction activities running from the 20th of September, and teaching starts on the week beginning the 27th of September. So you've got a short window to apply and get your documents ready. If you've got any queries about your documents or whether you have sufficient entry qualifications, just call the admissions team or drop them an email on that line, and one of the counsellors will talk to you. Khalid mentioned IELTS certificates. Whether you require IELTS certificates or English language certificates depends on where you have studied before. Okay, so now I had another question about induction week, but that's the 20th of September and teaching on the 27th. There was a question about somebody having a diploma. Does that allow them to finish quicker? Not normally, but I would say contact the admissions team and they can answer that question. Question about do you apply through UCAS? Well, no, Khalid has just told us that there's direct application routes through to the admissions team in Aberdeen. But then we've got a question about how will courses be online? So just to reiterate, we're operating blended learning. That means the lectures will be online, and your tutorials, your seminars where you have small group discussions and activities, you'll be coming onto the campus for those small group activities. And as we saw in the video, we've very carefully laid out the campus using the physical distancing requirements of the ministry and all of the other protocols of the ministry to make sure that everybody is safe. So you are required to arrive with a face mask and also an Etaraz app. All students will be communicated with about our expectations for how the campus is going to operate. So what are the questions? More about the start date, which I think we've answered now. Something about how's it going to work? It's going to work through blended learning. The induction is important. Somebody's asked about induction. What do we do in induction? Well, one of the key things is that students receive a lot of their information on this learning management system called My Aberdeen. It's a platform basically, and we tell you how to navigate that platform, what information's in it. We show you how to access the slides that lecturers have, the materials that lecturers have, how to get to the library, access e-textbooks, how you submit assignments through that platform, how you see your results on that platform. Lots and lots of information there. And also built into that platform is the online classroom, which is called Collaborate. And we'll be onboarding all of the new starts to that information in that induction week. So it's quite important. You also get to meet your program leader and some of the other lecturers in the activities that we have for you in that week. Okay. Somebody said, can they register as a part-time student? They can, but there's certain sort of requirements there, and that would require discussion with the admissions team. Question about online again. Yes, okay. If you just bear with me while I'm reading. Okay, what day do you have to rise? What degrees does the University of Aberdeen offer? Well, we've heard about business management and IR and business management and information systems. We do, of course, offer a straight degree in business management and a straight degree in accounting and finance. So we've got 4 undergraduate degree programs offering 2 straight degrees and 2 joint honours degrees. Somebody's saying they have an offer for business management. Can they change? Yes, you can. You just need to liaise with the recruitment and admissions team. What does MA stand for? MA stands for Masters of Arts, and in ancient university world, which Aberdeen is an ancient university, it's the 5th oldest university in the UK. MA means an undergraduate degree. It's a 4-year undergraduate degree. BSc means Bachelor of Science, and so more scientific degrees have BSc, and more arts-orientated degrees have an MA, but they're both undergraduate degrees. Okay, I'm still going through questions here. What's the difference in studying the first year in Aberdeen and then at NC UK? You're going to be prepared a lot better for the second year through Aberdeen than you are through the NC UK programme. You also have to achieve a minimum entry score from NC UK to come onto the Aberdeen programme that way. But you're being taught by a world faculty, research orientated world-class faculty, experiencing the same lectures in Doha as you are in Qatar if you come on the campus. Okay. When did the program start? We're all starting on the 20th with induction week. Can you switch? You can switch if you have an offer at the moment. How often will there be tutorials? You should have a tutorial for each of the courses that you study, and that will happen each week. So you'll have a tutorial each week for each of the 4 courses that you study at year 1. Okay, do we accept CNAQ students? We do. What you need to do is you need to speak to one of the counsellors, and they will work out if you can what you can articulate into with the credits that you have from CNAQ. Okay. And then somebody asked the question about jobs from the international relations degree, which Lynn covered in the webinar. Actually, it's opening you up to a wide range of jobs, not just IR type jobs, but business jobs as well. We're training you to be thinkers who can solve problems and communicate effectively and also work in teams. Those are core skills that all organizations require, whatever sector of the economy that they're in. How many students are accepted for the business management and information systems degree? Well, I'm anticipating that on the business management degree, we will have around 60 students, and those specializing in information systems will probably be about 15, maybe 15, 16 to 20 students. So we are a community. We know the students know us. We interact on the corridors and in the cafeteria, and that's one of the unique points about studying with us here in Doha. Okay, so there are the questions that have come through on the chat. You've still got time to post a question if you want to. What I'm going to do now is just give an opportunity to Professor Mervyn Bain or Dr. Lynn Binney to say anything else that's come into their mind that could follow up on what was said earlier, and I'll just pass it over to them just for a moment.
Lynn, do you want to add anything?
No, I mean, I was just going to say that it's really clear that there are immense challenges in the world, and I think studying IR alongside business management is a really interesting and useful degree combination. And of course, you know, anyone who wants to sign up would be more than welcome. I'll pass over to Mervyn.
Yeah, I mean, I'll just echo that as well. And I mean, it's what Russell has said as well. It's opening doors. You know, the degree, it's all those other generic skills you're learning as well. And a lot of those are really, really important for employers as well. And just as Lynn said, business management and international relations would seem to be a very, very good degree to do this at this point. And as Lynn said, obviously we'd welcome you and we hope you would like to do the degree. We'll but I'll hopefully see you at some point. So thank you for your time.
Okay, Marvin, thank you. Lynn, thank you very much as well. Just the last question has come in. Somebody's asked if there's a way they can graduate in 3 years instead of 4. No, the university's a 4-year degree program. It's thorough, it's comprehensive, and it's designed. We look to certificate experts going out of the university, and that's why we are a world-class university. Okay, so thank you very much for joining us. Just to remind you, if you've got any questions, we can see on the screen now the email address info@afg-aberdeen.edu.qa, or feel free to call the admissions team. You can make an appointment to pop in if you want to come to the campus. That's no problem, to have a discussion with the counsellor. But again, thank you everyone for your contributions tonight, the staff here, and thank you very much everyone for your interest in the University of Aberdeen. I'll say good night. Good night. Thank you very much.
Good night. Bye.